What's happening, people? We're back here once again on CubCamTV for this, another edition of CubReacts. It's looking like it's going to be a crazy evening of new music. I've just been looking through a few of the listings. There's some crazy stuff dropping this evening. Now, I didn't even know this was happening, but it's looking like this new one we're going to be reviewing today from D Block Europe is one of the leading tracks off their new project, which is crazy when you look at how many tracks are on there. Looking like it's, I think that says 20, does that say 29, 28? I can't quite read it, to be honest with you. 27, 28, 29 tunes on there, which is looking crazy. This one, obviously, Young Adz and Dirtbike LB with Destiny. As always, out to everyone supporting the channel. If you aren't already subscribed, please do make sure you are hitting that subscribe button, getting involved, and of course, you can follow me on socials as well, at KXVU on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and SoundCloud. So, before we get into this one, there's a couple of things I do want to mention. Obviously, with this channel, we have a thing where we have to pause it quite regularly. So if you aren't fond of lots of pauses within a reaction video, then be aware there will be a lot of pauses in this video, so please do feel free to watch a different reaction video on a different channel. However, there's a couple of reasons for this that I do feel I have to explain, otherwise the comments are just stop pausing so much. They are as follows. At the moment, copyright is running rampant, so anything I do on this channel that doesn't pause regularly music-wise is being taken down rather annoyingly. So that's one reason why I have to pause it quite regularly. Secondly, this is going to be a very analytical breakdown. We're going to be breaking down as many things about this tune as possible, from the vocal performance, to the lyricism, to the production, to the video itself, and everything in between. So just be aware that's what's going to be happening. So without further ado, let's get into it. First of many bangers this evening, I do think. There's going to be a lot dropping today. Let's crack on, though. I'm liking the pluck so far. I'm liking the instrumentation. Very, very minimal, obviously, for this introduction. It's just one single plucked sounding Asian style instrument, but that could just be a normal guitar being plucked in a different way that's been affected. Interesting. Test us. 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 Very extensive intro by the sounds of things. A lot of string work going on in the background, as we can hear, getting quite orchestral, quite emotive. The video is looking interesting as well, as we can see. Lots of police in the video. I'm sure this is going to get very interesting indeed. Test us. Test us. Test us. Test us. Test us. I always wonder in music videos whether these are real police officers or if they've been hired, because that's a weird thing to hire for, being a police officer in a music video. You never know. Could be real. Slave's been on fire recently. The money was destined. We could have shit destiny. Built lands off a tester. Very stripped back from what we can hear so far. Dirtbike coming in with a very relaxed kind of flow. Nothing super hype. No crazy up and downs when it comes to the auto tuning. Very, very minimal. Instrumental's quite minimal as well. Heavy sublines, but in general, very stripped back from what we used to from D Block. Trap where she messed with me. They didn't accept us. Break a brick like Tetris. They didn't accept us. Break a brick like Tetris. The money was. I feel right from the off with this. It's almost like this is what we've come to expect from D Block Europe. Like, if you were going to give an example of the sort of tune that D Block Europe make, I feel this is pretty much bang on the money. It might be why they've chosen this track to release on, to put on the release day of the new project, which is obviously dropping at midnight. I feel this is quite like a good example to people who somehow haven't heard of D Block Europe yet. If they were going to stumble across this video, they'd go, okay, I'm interested in this. I feel this is maybe why they've done it. We could have shit destiny. Built lands off a tester. Trap where she messed with me. They didn't accept us. Break a brick like Tetris. I really like Adz's vocal tone on this, and I like Adz's vocal tone anyway, but obviously what they're sort of talking, as far as I'm aware, what they're talking about is obviously making things happen for yourself, unless I'm completely misunderstanding that, and they're setting money on fire by the looks of things as well. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's quite typical sort of D Block lyricism, kind of coming from the ground up, and obviously making this your destiny. This is the thing that I was supposed to do, I suppose. When half's on a baby, my daughter's a blessing. I'm assuming then that his daughter is called Destiny. I don't know that. That may be way out there, but that's the sort of thing that I normally miss. And the comments suggest you didn't know his daughter was Destiny. Do your research. If it is, it is. If it isn't, it isn't. I'm not in the know about Adz's personal life, being real.
Pull up in a Porsche and a nigga ski. Nigga just, I just made 100K off account like ski. My nigga Gwella in a beef right now, happy G-Day.
You see about the instrumental structure though, there's not really much going on drum-wise, there's not much going on instrumental-wise. It almost feels like the music video is more hyperactive than the tune to an extent. There's a little bit of dissonance there, I feel, and I don't know if that's been done on purpose, but it feels like in general, the vocal is kind of like the lead element of this. There's very few drums going in there. The subs aren't super loud. It's very different compositionally.
Niggas come buy this watch, can't afford it. $500,000 mortgage. I'ma stay with her like Morty. New straps, I'm an
Is it just me as well? I really like it in tunes like this where they do the like the vocal slowdowns, those almost like beat stops where it just kind of goes on over vocal lines. I don't know if they're doing it to kind of make it a clean edit or whatever, but it sounds quite cool. It kind of adds to the overall like electronic vibe of what's going on because it's a very electronic sounding tune. There's next to no natural instrumentation, and both vocals are very heavily electronically affected. So it kind of adds to that entire vibe of this being a very electronic take on new school. I wouldn't even call this. It's nowhere near drill really. It's just what D Block do.
The money was destined.
I'd be really interested to see how high budget the music video is for this because everything looks super clean. But the locations are like public locations, so it's almost like they've balanced like making it look super crazy with it still being what you would expect from a more sort of low budget video. So it's very clever how they've done that, and it's got me genuinely intrigued. Vocal wise, again, a lot of kind of scatting, which is essentially what those sort of ski all that sort of stuff. It's essentially new school scatting. Like it's the sort of thing you'd get in like old school jazz back in the day, and now it's kind of been reinvented as a concept, but as like ad-libs essentially. And it's they play such a crucial part in a tune like this because they're the bits that fill it out.
We call that shit destiny. Built lines of a tester. Trap where she mess with me.
They didn't accept us. Break a brick like Tetris.
Here we go. And now they're actually, I don't know if they're actors or not, you know. If someone does know, please do put it in the comments down below, and do let us know if you're feeling the video. As I said before, I did say there would be a lot of pauses on this video. That's just how these have to be, I'm afraid. But there we go.
Didn't accept us. Break a brick like Tetris.
The money was destined.
Just to go back slightly, I need to check this out again because when I'm looking at this effect looks really out of place.
The money was destined. We call that shit destiny. Built lines of a tester.
I don't know if it's just me.
They didn't accept us. Break a brick like Tetris.
I think I've just missed the effect entirely, to be honest with you. But there was a little effect that was like a splash. It was like a concrete splash next to them, and I don't know. It just looked a little bit out of place to me.
When half's on a baby, my daughter's a blessing, destiny.
I said sorry. He go down, baby, and suck this for me. I'm sipping Cody.
That's the first time I've ever heard someone do wild ad-libs over the top of essentially a police radio. Really sonically unusual, I've got to say. Very unusual. This is quite an interesting one because I am a fan of D Block Europe, but I don't feel this is like either of these guys at their like fullest, like 100%. It does feel a little bit like it's an album tune. It's a tune that's designed to be part of a longer track listing. Nothing wrong with that, of course. I feel it's not the best thing I've heard from either of them, put it that way. It's not trash by any means.
You think I'm poorly, baby girl, for me, pour me. My new gun is gorgeous, we was the poorest. New grow house like a forest. Say what's important, we kick the door off. DB, nothing before this. Codeine in my veins.
I like this little bridge section here as well, where he's kind of going over the lo-fi. The drum levels have been obviously turned quite lo-fi. All the high end's been taken out of them and filtered out, so they sound very sort of distant, almost like boxed off. And we've got Dirtbike, sorry, just kind of going a lot more, being a bit more expressive with his kind of vocal movements and doing a little bit more skippy stuff as well. So it's quite a nice way to kind of break the tune up from the two different sections either side.
It is a shame, girl, I've been stuck in my ways. I ain't sleeping in days, pictures I paint. I don't think we are the same.
There it is. That's the effect I was talking about. What a weird effect. Because they've used the exact same one 3 times across the video. I don't know why, and that looks really weirdly green screened as well. I don't think it is, but just on that pause. But it's just I don't know if it's just me. It just seems like very out of place as an effect.
She said it's changed, you've been fucking on that, and you still don't remember my name. Some nights I had blood in my face, and I'm strapped with a tray like, One night when I hit 2 licks, and I had to get rich like,
They're both showing. I feel they're both showing why they are so popular, because this sort of style, this sort of bag, it's theirs. Like, realistically, across the UK, there aren't many people who are better in this sort of area in a very... What is essentially a very Americanized style of UK rap music. I feel they're very much in their bag with this one. I don't think there's anyone who really talked to D-Block Europe over this sort of sound specifically. And I think this is what this track is more than anything else. It's them showcasing. It's them going, look, we are the best in this field.
He was destined. We call that shit destiny. Built lands of a tester. Trap where she messed with me. They didn't accept us. Brick a brick like...
You know what I think this tune is? It's a tune you play in the car. I think that's what I've been trying to put my finger on. It's a tune that you play in the car with the windows down. It's a roller. It's a slow burner. It's not a tune that's a ton-up tune. I think it's a bit too slow tempo-wise to be a ton-up tune. It's a bit too slow to jump around to. But I feel it's a tune that you take in when either you're on your ones or when you're kind of moving around in a car. That's the vibe I'm getting off it. If I was to choose somewhere to listen to it, it would be in a car system.
Tetris, they didn't accept us. Brick a brick like Tetris.
I love the fact they've kept that in. This has got to be... They've got to be actors, man. There's no way you can get away with that much stuff in filming in that sort of level of obvious quality with lighting and stuff, and it be... maybe they did. I think it's actors, though. It's got to be.
Was destined. We call that shit destiny. Built lands of a tester. Trap where she messed with me.
They didn't accept us. Brick a brick like Tetris.
You know what about this as well? What a shot that is. I feel this tune has got more and more catchy the longer it's gone. I definitely feel there's certain elements to it. The hook especially is very, very catchy. That destiny, it's almost like quite dance music influenced in the sort of tone, the melody, the vocal melody that's been used. It reminds me of sort of like a lot of early 90s sort of rave tunes vocal wise. I don't know why I've made that comparison, but that's the thing that jumps out from the back of my head. Really, really cool tune. I think we're looking like we're getting towards the end.
When half's on a baby, my daughter's a blessing, destiny.
Really cool tune. You know what it is? This is one that warmed on me. Is that the phrase? It grew on me. Sorry, I warmed to it. It grew on me. As we got further and further in, I really like the approach they've taken, stripping it back slightly, showing a more sort of I feel experimental kind of edge, because the instrumental's a lot more it differentiates a lot more from start to finish. There's a lot more going on, and yeah, I just think it's a very good album tune. I feel is a good way of putting it, which I definitely think it is, because I've seen so much new stuff dropping from D-Block on it recently. I'm sure we will have probably heard a fair few of the tunes off the new project, but there we go. That one is out at midnight. Do go and check it out, and obviously got to do a couple of shout outs on here. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel. If you did enjoy this reaction video, please do let us know down below. Leave a like on the video, leave a comment as well. As I said, I apologize about the amount of pauses we have to do. I'm unable to find a way of getting around it. I am looking into it 24/7. There is no real way of getting around it other than this at the moment, so please do bear with us. And also, you can catch me in the morning 7 till 10 in the AM over on Trickstar Radio for the breakfast show. That is Breakfast with Kovu, and you can lock in via the Trickstar Radio app. You can check out the podcast via Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, and the Trickstar Radio app as well. So we're going to leave this one there and see you all next time. Peace.